Hello, my name is Reinhard Klett. I was fired relatively late in life, and that was a huge blow, as you can imagine, to my confidence. And it really made a big difference in my life. In hindsight, I must say I feel very liberated, and I'll explain to you shortly why. Now, when I was fired, I realized I didn't really want to get back into the corporate world, into the rat race. It was very stressful. It even affected my health a little bit. And yeah, overall, I was in relatively good health, but still, I wanted to be even healthier. So when I lost my job and I started my business, I remembered what the late Jim Rohn, a legend in personal development was saying. He said, if you have a business, you need to work harder on yourself than you work on your business. So I took that to heart, and I spent a lot of time for in respect to skill development when it came to real estate investment, which is the business that I had started because that was something that I had done on the side before. So I had quite a bit of knowledge about real estate investing. So I decided to get into that kind of business again. But in addition to learning a lot of new skills, taking a lot of courses, online courses and so on, I also realized that I needed to work on personal development because what I did need was I need to regain my confidence, and I also needed to really work on and focus on the right things and not get too distracted and what they call the shiny object syndrome, thinking, okay, this works better or this works better, and constantly change things. So it really highlighted for me that I needed to be more focused and work on personal development. But what helped me in that respect was very much the fact that I hired a high performance coach, a certified high performance coach. And I was really glad I did because he is the one who really helped me to regain my confidence and my focus so that I could get my business off to a much better start. And it really, really made a huge, huge difference. But not only was I able to really focus then on my business, get things going, I was able to also improve my health. I lost 25 pounds in the process, got a lot in a lot better shape, and also really changed as a person to where actually a niece told me, a 6-year-old niece, she said, after we had not seen each other for a year, she said, Uncle Reinhard has changed. So that was a huge compliment. She not only noticed that I had lost some weight, but also that I was a lot calmer and a lot more relaxed and a lot more confident and less stressed out than before. But also, one thing that the coach helped me with was he encouraged me to follow through with something that I had been thinking about for years, and that was writing a book. I had an incident, a personal incident in my life about 30 years ago, where I was a student pilot in Southern California, and on my third solo flight, I was getting, without telling you all the details, but I was getting into what they call a graveyard spiral. They call it a graveyard spiral because it's very difficult to get out of, and because many, many people have died in the process. So I didn't know what to do. I tried everything with the controls. Eventually, after dropping 1,000 feet out of the sky, I let go of all the controls and said, God, take this plane. And he did. Instantly, I got out of the spin and got into a narrow flight, straight and level flight, and then got back to the airport, and I've been safe. Now, over the years, I've told this story to many people, and they said, oh, you just made me aware of something. I asked, what do you mean? You just made me aware of something that I need to let go of. And people started to tell me stories. So what I've done is I actually wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about telling the story on how letting go literally saved my life. And then I have added 16 chapters to that introduction then, and covering different areas in life where people need to let go. And finally, I wrote it, and finally I actually published it this summer. Now, why am I telling you this? Because for me, letting go of things that hold us back, of any baggage we carry with us, and primarily things we carry in our minds, is like letting go of the brake, you know, letting go of the brake before you step on the gas, so to speak. Letting go of the brake, letting go of all the things that hold us back, that stifle us, that distract us. And then once we do that, we can step on the brake, apply the 5 high performance habits, and then move forward. Now, as I was going through the high performance coaching, I also was involved in a business network. And I talked to a lot of small business owners and executives. And what I realized that a lot of people were struggling with a lot of things. And I thought, oh, wow, if they could all get this high performance coaching, this would be so helpful. Especially one area where I felt people were struggling with, and that was their confidence. And so I realized, I talked with my coach and said, yes, you can become a coach yourself. So I got really excited about that and got the training, got the certification, and it was just so thrilling, the whole experience. And my first client, it was amazing. He was one of the members of our network, and he was a very successful businessman, doing really well, doing millions of dollars of business every year. And he was very stressed and overwhelmed, though, to where it affected his health and where it affected his family life. And he was not a happy man. Again, he was doing very well. He was a very nice guy, but he was just too overworked, too stressed, too overwhelmed. And he said, you know what, I need coaching. I need coaching. So he was my first client, and it was so thrilling for me to see the transformation in his life. While he still grew his business considerably during the time that we were coaching, his stress level was going down considerably. His health improved tremendously, and his family relations also improved quite a bit, to where he's a much more relaxed and happy man now. And one of the areas, and that's one of the pillars that I'm going to talk about that really helped him, the focus on productivity. I have helped him to, just to become overall a more productive person, not to be so distracted and not to run all over the place and be constantly exhausted and stressed out. And 3 things that we focused on was, I said, you need to take a lot of stuff off your plate. It looked like, and I asked him, what can you take off your plate? There's 3 things you can do with it. We look at everything you're doing and ask yourself, can I eliminate it? Can I delegate it? Or can I automate it? And just especially the delegation part, that made a huge difference in his life. He finally decided to hire more people that would take a lot of the tasks over that he had been doing before. And his struggle was that he was hanging on to doing a lot of things because when he was very, very busy, that made him feel productive. And when he realized that that's not necessarily making him productive, when he's in the office and does some very good planning and delegating and automating and in thinking about things he could eliminate, for him just sitting at his desk doing things like that, in his mind and from his cultural background, that didn't feel productive. So he needed the coaching to help him realize productivity means you are moving the needle forward. You are working closer towards your dreams, towards the life you want to create for yourself and for your family. And so that has made a huge shift in his life. And I can tell you nothing is more rewarding for me than seeing a transformation like that with a client. So that I just want to share that experience with you because it's just, I'm so glad, as I told you earlier, I'm so glad that I was fired because it was so liberating, and now I can do what I really enjoy doing and what really fulfills me. And that is something that I want to do as a coach, help people also have a more fulfilled life, less stress, more productive, but also healthy and happy.